Hey gang, welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Things are moving and grooving here in Okinawa. Actually, maybe not so much. It's been slow. Wifey's still out of town. She's coming back in this weekend. It's Tuesday this morning. She's going to come back Saturday. I think Saturday afternoons when they get back. She's going to come back with May. And then May will chill here with us for a bit before going back to Bangkok. Or she may have business up on mainland or something, but we'll see. But yeah, wife's been gone for about 2 months now, plotting and scheming on some things over in Thailand as retirement gets closer next year. We've got our starter house on the market, trying to sell that thing so that we can buy or build or get moved into something a little bit bigger. Just because I think we're starting to see the extended family may end up staying with us at some point, and we want to have more room for the family to come over and hang out and kick it and whatnot. But yeah, doing a little house shopping, doing a little bit of house selling, and the wifey bought a car there recently. 2 or 3 weeks ago, she bought a Fortuner, so we've got that much going for us for when we get over there next year. The car is sorted. We'll have some housing stuff to sort out, or not. Our house that we have right now is fine. We're just trying to get into something a little bit bigger. But if it sells, cool. If it don't, that's cool too. It's not mine one way or the other. I don't have any legal ownership of that residence, nor do any of you if you're not Thai citizens. But you can have some usufruct or whatever that is. But yeah, we'll get into all that. Anyway, I'm rambling. That's probably a whole nother video, or I can point you in the direction of some good gouge on land and property ownership in Thailand for non-Thai citizens if you would like some material on that. It's yeah, lots of that stuff's on the interwebs and pretty easy to find. Anyway, that's what's happening back in the Kingdom of Thailand right now. And then my son and I are here in Okinawa. We've been here while wifey's been out of town. And we've just been running around the house shirtless, eating raw steak, and trying not to burn the house down on a daily basis. I'm kidding, it hasn't been that wild. But I've just been working here. I'm not taking any leave, I don't think, for the rest of this year and into part of next year, just because I ran out of days. And I didn't quite burn them all, but when we went home for that Thai school reunion and then quickly went right back again for Songkran, that burned up about a year's worth of leave and over the course of like 2 or 3 months. So that's that. And that's been keeping us pretty busy, or me pretty busy here with work and then trying to run the household here in Okinawa. And man, that's a chore. That's a real challenge. I tell you what, you get off work and come home and cook, clean, or if you even order food, you still gotta keep the house clean and in good working order. Yeah, it's almost a full-time job. But yeah, what's been going on back here? Man, there were some changes to SkillBridge and the way that works for folks that are separating and getting out of the military. Yeah, I guess the big change up was for E5 and below, or sergeants and below in the Marine Corps, because I don't think the other services are doing this. Maybe they are and I'm just not aware of it, but sergeants and below still rate, I think, the full 180-day SkillBridge, because that's the primary audience, right? You want to make sure those guys can bridge the gap between getting out of the military and being able to secure some kind of gainful employment or career in the civilian sector. Moving on from there, from the rank of E6 up to, I think, captain. Is it 120 days? So I think E6, E7, and then lieutenants up to captain. And I could have this wrong, which is why I'm gonna throw a little infomatic up on the screen right now from the actual MarAdmin. It is interim guidance because the actual order isn't out yet. I don't think. I'll check this morning. But as of recently here, it wasn't out. But 120 days for those folks. And then as you get into like E8, E9, so those master sergeants, first sergeants, master gunnery sergeants, and sergeants major, and your majors and higher, it capped that entire population at 90 days for the SkillBridge. And I think that's supposed to also include your PTAD and your terminal. So yeah, if you've got a different plan than that, and it's approved before 31 August, I believe is what the MarAdmin says, then you should be good to go. But if it ain't, that new guidance is gonna affect whatever you're trying to do. But yeah, that's SkillBridge. Man, what else is changing? SkillBridge was a big one. I'm trying to save up some leave for terminal, for getting out next summer. On the Thailand side of things, we've gotten our marriage certificate authenticated all the way up to the point of Mississippi Secretary of State took care of that. I had to go to the State Department, got that taken care of, and then I had to mail it to the Royal Thai Embassy in DC. So 3 trips around the world and back, and we've got it here. So the next phase for that evolution is when we get over there, I guess on the new 90-day visa. So it's 90 days on arrival is now, that's another big change, I guess, for worth mentioning, is that 90 days on arrival, I believe, is what you're going to get by default as a tourist going into Thailand, assuming that you're from one of those countries that gets entry without a pre-approved visa. But yeah, there's that. But the next thing to do with our marriage license is get it translated by an authorized agency there in Bangkok, and then make an appointment to get over to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, because now it's been authenticated at like 3-4 different levels. Now we'll go and get it legalized at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and then once it is legalized, we'll take it to the local Ampur, or the city office there in Korat, where we're going to be living starting next year. Woo! Be on Thai time, full time. Man, get excited. But yeah, we'll take it there, get it registered, and then bickety bam, we are married. And then that will allow me to apply for my non-immigrant I believe it is, visa, for me to be on a spousal support kind of visa, living there in the kingdom. And then once I'm on that, I think it's just 90-day check-ins. So every 3 months, go get a check-in done, and I think you can even do those online. But easy peasy, lemon squeezy. That is what's happening with that. So little by little, chipping away at the visa stuff, some housing stuff in Thailand. I think my SkillBridge is going to be fine for starting that here in the spring, and because it's remote and we're staying local, I think it's kind of in a gray area. It's where maybe I can still take some PTAD with that, and some terminal on the backside, because so long as it was approved before 31 August, and mine's been approved for months and months at this point, but so long as it's approved before 31 August, whatever you're trying to do is governed by that initial NAFMAC 1700. I can't remember the actual thing, but it was the initial SkillBridge guidance. Yeah. What else? Some more new jazz. The Thai tax laws that are supposedly maybe changing are I think scaring away a lot of folks from moving to the kingdom in retirement. People are afraid that they're going to get over there and have their pensions double taxed, right? So like taxed in the States and then taxed on whatever they bring into Thailand. But I got home from work yesterday and I was pulled up YouTube, and Foreigner Joe and Thai Girl Gift had a new video up where Joe's chatting with a couple of tax gurus, financial planners, and such about the tax laws, and they make some important points. And one of those is that they bring up the tax treaty or treaties that the states has with Thailand, whereas they say that federal pensions will only be taxed in the states and not once that money comes into Thailand. So you can't get double taxed on those on like a federal pension. Some other pensions maybe, but federal pensions don't look like they're going to get double taxed, which is good for military retirees, I'll say. And yeah. And then any kind of VA disability compensation payments. I'm not sure how that'll work. I don't think they covered that at all in the video, but I guess I'll find out next year and I'll let you know. I'm gonna run into Lawson's real quick and get some brekkie. But yeah, that's the skinny on, or the quick skinny, if you will, on the tax situation there in Thailand. And yeah, I think that's all the news I had. And I haven't posted a video in well over a month now. At this point, it's probably pushing close to 2 months. But I have tried to make a few videos in the interim, and I was too busy and never got around to posting them. So I did a little walk and talk about a little over a month ago, and maybe I'll try to weave in some of that footage. I was just strolling around the neighborhood and through some parks here in Chitancho. Well, I'm not in Chitan right now. I'm driving. I'm closer to Aruma. But yeah, gonna buy some brekkie and get on into work. And I appreciate y'all coming along. Y'all take her easy and holler at you. See ya. Bye. Hey gang, welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Things are good here in Okinawa. It's sunny, it's not raining. Temp's probably about 95 today. It's a warm one out, but didn't get a chance to do a proper update with you all about retirement planning and the way things are going and where we're at right now. So figured we'd take just a quick few minutes and get an update. Scorcher out today. Whew. But anyway, just getting out and getting some steps in. Wifey is back home in Thailand, and I think I shared that with the gang here recently. But she's doing some things back over there, making sure the homestead is all set up. And big change here recently, she bought a vehicle, so we got that going for us. She went to a place there in Karat, and we've got a car. So she's there until probably, I think, mid-August, and she'll come back. I was gonna go over for 4th of July for this next coming weekend, but I couldn't find any Air Asia tickets to get over there. There were direct flights anyway. There were tickets with I think a Hong Kong connection or a Taiwan connection, but yeah, those were looking like it was going to run about $1,000 for that round trip, and I don't think it's worth it. I think we'll just hold tight till Labor Day or some other long 4-day weekend, and then look into getting back over there. Let this van go ahead. It's a hot one in the hood today. You can see American Village through there, through those buildings. But yeah, catch back up with you here in a hot second. Neighborhood park is coming along. I think these trees are brand new. I don't remember these being here. I'm down here pretty often, so yeah, that's new. Neighborhood 7-Eleven over here. They got nothing on the 7-Elevens in Thailand though. So 7-Eleven in Thailand is the place. Over here it's either Lawson or Family Mart, and most folks I think are either on one team or the other. Kind of a Lawson's team, ourselves though. But yeah.
It's more construction up here. I'm not sure what this is going to be back behind all this vegetation in the park. Someone told me that it's an extension of the town hall that's just up ahead of us. Guess we'll see when it opens. And it's hot out. My camera got so hot that it cut off on me a minute ago. So we'll see how much recording I can get in on this one. And I'm doing some experimentation. I'm filming in 4K right now, but I don't know that my computer is going to be able to edit in 4K. Switched over from Fedora to Ultramarine Linux here recently, and it doesn't look good. But yeah, I think it'll be fine. I think I've got all the codecs downloaded, and I really just want to try Caden Live out in 4K and see what we get. But that's where we're at. Yeah. In other news, it's been quite a while now. It's been several months, but I've had an alternate separation site approved to go back home to Mississippi and process out from there. Spend some time back in the SIP and hang out with some friends and family. But the more we thought about it, we were like, does it make sense to go back there for that last 30 to 60 days when we could just take leave and go there and then come back out here, and then our final separation, our only move, be from Okinawa to Thailand. Logistically, I think that makes more sense. It's a few less variables in the equation, right? Because we've got to get some household goods packed up and then move to Thailand. But my biggest worry is that those things get shipped stateside somehow, and then there's no cost savings for the government to ship them back across the world to Thailand. So whereas I think if we separate from here and just go straight to Thailand, it's going to be a much easier process, and then there's no home of record visit in the process. So yeah, I don't know, we'll see. Damn, it's hot. My head is burning up right now. My brother Mark gave me this hat. Kapkun mak, kapkun pi. Man, keep the sun off me anyway. But it is a warm one out here. So this is the other end of that new park. So this is right here in Chitan, and our building is right, probably right up that way. Huh. This has been a construction zone since not long after we moved in 2019. Of course, I guess COVID slowed it down. But even after that, it hasn't been moving too swiftly. So, anywho. In other news, how about those changes to SkillBridge that are pending? Yeah. So, I think it said either 1 August or 30 August? At some point in August is when those effects take place, and SkillBridge applications or programs that are approved before that happens are governed by the original NAVMAC 1700, whatever it was, the the initial SkillBridge guidance. But yeah, big changes there. So for sergeants and below, it looks like it lowered the duration that they can take for SkillBridge to 120 days from 180 days. And then for every other rank beyond that, reduced it from 180 being that maximum allowable amount of time that you could take down to 90 days. So cut it in half essentially, with the kicker being that those most senior staff NCOs, E8 and E9 I think is what it said on there, and those senior officers 05 and 06. For those folks applying for a SkillBridge, it requires a general officer endorsement. So yeah, lots of fussing about that one on the internet right now. Lots of folks not too pleased with that, and I can't remember right offhand how that one compares with the interim changes that happened a while back. If you guys remember that, was that maybe 6 months to a year ago? Stirred up a lot of fuss though, and then they rescinded that thing real quick, so we'll see what happens. And you know, there's an argument to be made on either side of it, right? Every Marine in the fleet is tied to a specific billet, or a BIC you could say, and I might be wrong, so you manpower folks tighten me up if I'm off on this, but I think that stands for Billet Identification Code. And the Marine Corps is not going to replace each of those said BICs with a person until like the rotation date has been met by the human being that's in that seat right now, if that makes sense. My head's cooking. I hope I hope it didn't sound like I have fucking Alzheimer's or something right now when I said that. So if a Marine is occupying a billet right now, and their rotation date is, let's say, I don't know, let's say it's September. So March is like 180 days out from that, and they take SkillBridge. Well, the folks at Manpower Management aren't looking at a replacement to refill that billet until like that September date, or you know, within a certain amount of time, left or right of that. So my SkillBridge is approved for 1 March of 25 as my start date, and 180 days past that is my separation. If you want to say EAS, it's the last day of August in 25, or my actual retirement date or transfer to the reserves is 1 September. So that's my retirement date. If I'm planning for an entire 180 days or getting the whole thing, and I think I might be good for that. I guess it's really just dependent on what the CO thinks. But you know, 30 days off of that 1 September is 1 August, and then 30 days off of that takes you back to 1 July. So the way I count for that is like 30 days of permissive TAD and then 30 days of terminal leave. But yeah, and then 4 months or 120 days of my SkillBridge that is already approved. Of course, subject to change based on whatever the battalion commander thinks. So it's something to keep in mind, right? It's a privilege. It's not a right. And like I said, you aren't really getting replaced until you meet your rotation date. So if my retirement date's 1 September, my rotation date is at some point in July. Ideally, there would be a replacement, another major, maybe a captain, lieutenant, heaven forbid, right, coming in to take over my billet as I step away. Or, you know, maybe there's like a 3 to 4 month gap instead of a whole 6 month gap, is what I'm saying. So I think that's certainly survivable. There's billets that go much longer than that without having someone sitting in the billet. But yeah. But anyway, that's a quick retirement planning update, and SkillBridge changes and things that are happening at our future home in Korat, Thailand. So looking forward to it. I've got to really start hammering down on the medical stuff and making sure everything's documented to make it easier, hopefully at the end, to get all of that VA disability claim all set up for compensation. This is doozy of a hill. I used to just easily run up this almost every single day when we first got here. But it has proven to be a chore. Beautiful view up here. Couple of papaya trees back here in the tree line. Problem is that grass between the road and those papaya trees used to be about 3, 4, 5 feet high, so you could barely see them. And before they cut that, we didn't want to risk going back in there. You don't want to come across the habu back in there. Construction keeps going up here. These are all brand new houses. They really build right out to the road. Nice little garage though. I think that's huge, having a garage here that actually closes. So you can kind of batten down the hatches during a typhoon. We got really lucky and we have covered parking. So our apartment's actually on top of our parking spaces for the whole complex. But it's open, it's not closed in. So when we do get a typhoon, it's all that wind and salt water's just beating them up. So you got to give them a rinse right after. This hill is a doozy today, I tell you what. Actually hoping it'll rain a little. There's some really old school houses back in here. Little park right here, but I'm not sure what kind of view you get off of there. Looks like you're looking right into the tree line. But I would think if you leveled that out a bit, you'd have a pretty good view all the way down to Naha. Pretty awesome. There's a couple of houses right up here that are really, really classic. They've got the signature Okinawan kind of roofs. Those red tiles, I don't know if they're ceramic or what, but just beautiful. Wouldn't be super imposing, but intrusive rather, but let's see. Awesome house. Try to get across here without getting run over. really need to upgrade my GoPro to maybe a 10 or an 11. I think I would like to have that forward-facing camera so I can tell how my lens is oriented when I have it whipped around like this in selfie mode, but right now I'm just taking a guess. But yeah, I don't know how good the stability is on this GoPro 8 compared to the newer ones, but yeah. One of these days. Gotta trust the mirrors. It's a really cool local park right up here, and we'll cut through one more part before we get back to the house in the neighborhood, but this one's got a really neat roller slide in it. I think it's one of the longer ones, at least here in the local area. There are some much longer ones on the other side of the island. I think Comprehensive Park has quite a few. But yeah, just a roller slide. I think the kids typically go down it on a sheet of cardboard, like a refrigerator box or something. You can hear the kids screaming as they go down the slide up here. Over here. All right, folks are out exercising. Game of b-ball going on, and then this is the roller slide right here. And then there are stairs that'll take you all the way up to that tower there. Pretty good viewpoint up in the top. Yeah, I think these kids forgot their cardboard. They're just crawling down this thing. Here. We'll head up and then we'll take the trail home. That's awesome. It's good exercise too. Those kids will probably climb up these stairs and go down it another 3, 4, 5 times. It's good sounds. That's great. Sukhoi. Konnichiwa.
coming.
How you guys doing?
Good, yourself?
Good, good. Popular place today. Folks are just looking for some shade. We'll pop on this trail and take it to the end of the park. Got somebody's phone here. I did see some people at the bottom, so maybe I'll run back down there and see if it belongs to one of them. If I can catch them. I see a gang of folks up ahead. I think I'll just stop and ask them if they know who it is or if they recognize them. Well, that was kind of a fail. They were all speaking Chinese, so I don't know. But the trailhead's right up here though, so hopefully somebody's still loitering about and looking for their phone. If not, I guess I'll drop it at a police box. I think they call those a koban, the police boxes. But those are like little mini police stations scattered throughout each little, I don't know if you'd call it a township, but so like our community is called Ihe, which is part of Chetancho, which is the bigger, Chetancho would be the town, maybe not necessarily city. Yeah, I don't know. All right. The journey continues. I was thinking it belonged to the guy that was going down the slide, but if this is you, I have your phone. Proved unproductive. I was asking we're trying to ask a bus driver here if he recognized the guy on the phone, and he did not. So I'm gonna do what I probably should have done to begin with and put it right back where I found it. That's the thing, right? If you lose something in Japan, you just come back to where you left it, and it'll be there safe and sound. So I'm gonna go back and put it on a post up here to where it's out in the open. All right. All right, so I think we figured it out. I found a couple that was hanging out on the trail catching some bugs with some of their youngsters, and I feel like I effectively communicated that I found the phone on the trail. And yeah, I think he was opening up the line messages to, or at least reading the caption on the line notifications to kind of figure out whose phone it is. So, all right, maybe that's a win for the day. I hope you get your phone back. Sumimasen, Nihongo, skoshi. Well, hopefully that was like a halfway good deed for the day. You can count on every park in Japan having two things. One is really clean restrooms, like you would not find anywhere else in the world, I don't think. And then vending machines, and maybe not necessarily vending machines with food in them, but with drinks, coffees, juices, sodas, all that. God, I feel like there used to be an old apartment building here. Yeah, 100% there was. And I honestly don't think it's been that long since I came through here, but it is gone. And I mean, it's like it was never here. That is crazy to me. I don't know, it's crazy to me how quick and I don't know, I guess how rapidly construction can go up and come down around here, but man, that's wild. Anyway, yeah, there's a lot of things to love about Okinawa. I think one of them is just how out and about everybody is on a daily basis. The weather, there's no winter. Accountability, I guess. You know, people lose things like that cell phone back there, and that dude will just come back to that park and be on the lookout for that phone. So I left it on a park bench there and told that couple that I found it, and I guarantee that dude will get his phone back probably today. Yeah, man, what else? If you're on the west side of the island and probably south of Yomitan, maybe, I guess further north would be the same thing, but up towards Nago, but here in Chitancho, like in the area between all these bases on the west side of the island, just how walkable everything is. I just went out for I'm coming up on a 4-mile walk here, and I've cut through 2 parks, and there's sidewalks, there's plenty of shoulder to walk on, easy to get out and stay fit and get your steps in. So it's probably pushing 2-3 o'clock right now. I'll get back to the house and do some cooking, and yeah, you know, there's no need to drive anywhere. And if you need to go to the grocery store, there's probably a Lawson's or a Family Mart, maybe even a Kanehide or a Sanhei within walking distance of your house or your apartment where you're staying at, assuming you're off base. Looks like a nice new apartment there for rent. The construction is crazy though. So when we moved in 19, there was just about nothing in between us and Route 58, which is that main artery up that runs north and south along the west coast. Not a whole lot of, there's a lot of grass in between us right now. It's like every square inch of those open plots is just getting filled in with concrete. and all these high-rise apartment buildings are going up. So 3, 4, 5 of them have all gone up in the last year and a half. And they're just now getting to the point where they're finishing up a lot of them, so. Sushi bar Yoshihachi here. So that's a pretty popular sushi joint right here. Got pictures of all the commandants and lots of famous folks all over the walls. We come in to hang out with Yoshi over the years, but we're gonna cut across this community center parking lot here and cut through this other part. Big community center here. On the left over here is a big ballpark. So any given day on the weekends, and probably some weekdays too, you may have 2 baseball games going on in there at the same time, one on either end of the field. If you get there early enough, there won't be anybody in the park. And there's a pull-up bar in there that I like to go work out on some mornings. I haven't done it in a while. Yep, nice big park, and they have festivals out on there every now and again too. Yeah, hopefully this video isn't a snooze fest. I'll try to cut out a lot of the nonsense if I can. But wifey's out of town, and I've had a pretty low-key, maybe even sad existence here in Okinawa. Just been cooking, cleaning, hanging out in the house, doing a bit of studying. Today I got out the CompTIA Network Plus book and did a little reading in it, and then I got bored with that, and I created an account for Pimsleur, I think is how you say it. Downloaded their app, but then I hopped on the computer and started their Thai lessons. But you get through the first lesson and then they want like $165 to upgrade to unlock all the other stuff. That's the little papaya tree right there. Which brings me to the next point that I was going to make. I love how easy it is to grow things here in Okinawa. Wife brought home a papaya from the market a couple of months back, maybe 2 months ago or so, and makes a papaya salad or some somtam. So I said, what are you doing with those seeds? And she's like, well, I'm gonna throw them away. I said, don't throw them away. I'm gonna go pop some of those in the dirt outside and see what happens. And one of them sprouted, and then we now have a baby papaya tree a few months later. And so it may even yield some fruit before we're off of Okinawa next year. And then my senior enlisted advisor, dare I say one of the best in the Marine Corps, and his wife come over to the house probably 2 weeks ago, I guess, and they brought over a watermelon. And wifey cuts it up, and we had some, and then we were having some of it the next day. And I said, you know what the hell, we got some space out here in these pots. I'm gonna go dump a few seeds in and see what happens. And so now we've got like 10 watermelon seeds back there that are sprouted. So we'll see what comes of those. They seem like they're pretty fragile right now, but man, they took off really quick. come through this park pretty often. But this is Kauai Park, and this is probably a quarter mile, half mile from the house. You can see that yellow building way over there. That's where we're at. So each of these stones in here represents a different Buddha of sorts. So vastly different from the Buddhism that we may be used to seeing in some of the Thai videos, something to that effect, right? More of a Theravada background, but much different here. So I would consider this a fairly sacred space. was so peaceful. I forgot what we were talking about beforehand. I think we were talking about growing things in Okinawa. But just the climate here, you don't have to have a green thumb whatsoever, and I hope it's still the same when we get to Thailand. But yeah, you're cutting up your favorite fruit, you go throw a few seeds in the dirt outside and put some water on it, and depending on what season it is, you may not need to even do that, but before you know it, you got seeds sprouting, and you know, got some seedlings to take care of, and then you may or may not have some fruit. We don't have anything growing on the porch that has fruit on it yet, but I did that with an avocado, tossed it out there. We've got a little baby avocado tree now. We've got a papaya tree. Will either of those bear fruit on the back porch? I don't know. Will a typhoon come through and destroy them? It might, but yeah, I don't know. The things that you think are fun as you age, I guess. I don't know. You can drink a beer and mess around in the garden. That's a good time. That's a good Saturday night right there. Thrilling, I know. But yeah, another cool little park here. There's always kids gathered in there playing soccer. But we're gonna jump back on the boulevard here, and we're just about back to the neighborhood. The Chitan Sportsplex is that. That's what that big net is you see up ahead. But yeah, just growing things and studying and reading and plotting and scheming and planning. Retirement, I think, is going to catch up with us pretty quick, and I think if you're not preparing for it along the way, these folks are going to let me across. But yeah, it'll sneak up on you. We got a lot of folks that are putting in for retirement, and you know, their date's like 4, 5, 6 months out. I think that's a recipe for disaster. But I'll tell you, it has been both a blessing and a curse getting retirement approved over 2 years out. Really like last year, because I was really torn between like really focusing on work and hammering down and just staying deep into it, really focused, really caring about the mission. And now here I am, less than a year from starting SkillBridge. It's like 9 months out, maybe 8 and change, I don't know. But yeah, it's getting harder to hang on to some of the things that I used to, some of the things that I thought were super important, right? Staying at work till 1800, really putting the work in on those Excel documents, you know. Nobody gives a shit about that. You're gonna be retired and someone's gonna replace you before you know it. So you might as well do your part to help ease the transition and get the unit used to not having you. I'm not saying start totally sucking, but when you get approved for retirement, your fitness reports may damn well bottom out quicker than you think they will. And then you know, your fitness reports, and it really doesn't matter because you're getting out of the Marine Corps anyway, but your command's gonna hit you with those 80 scores on your report card. And if you're in the Marine Corps, you know that an 80 is the bottom of the barrel. Your relative value of your fitness report can't go any lower than that. And got 2 of those under my belt thus far, and then I think an 88, which as time goes on will probably get lower, but that's fine, right? Because that's part of the retirement process, and coming to terms with the fact that you are leaving the formation. So yeah, gradually ease your mindset into just kind of letting go of things.